guys. Good evening. Let me put myself on camera. Hi, guys. Good evening. Tonight we have Mommy Says Bad Words with us. She's going to come up and she's going to discuss her relationship with Geoffrey Paschel. Also, I want to make a statement. My mods are in the building. If there's any disrespect, I will time you out myself, or my mods can time you out. Also, if you are timed out and if it doesn't have a name, that is a Google bot. Go out, come back in, and you should be okay. So I'm going to bring up Mommy Says Bad Words. We're going to have a conversation, and I'm glad that you guys are here. I appreciate every one of you. I wasn't planning on going live tonight, but this is something that I really wanted to touch on tonight. And I see Sarah Z is here. She and I have some conversations in DM. After we talk to Mommy, Sarah, I want you to come up. And if Deborah gets in the chat, I want Deborah to come up as well. So without further ado, let me just get Mommy. Hold on. Hi, Mommy. How are you?
Hi, Heidi.
Good evening. We have some wonderful people in the chat. And what I normally do is I do a roll call and I welcome everybody into the chat that's here before we get started. So I'm going to do that now. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Big Bad Wolf. Hi, Sarah Z. Hi, Susan Darson. Let's see who else is here. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Hi, Sassy Gamma Girl. Long time no see. Hi. Oh, let me see. I think I already said Lisa. Oh, I've already spoke to Lisa. Let me crawl down again. Ooh, hi, sweet but kind of sassy. How are you? Let me see. I saw some people come in here, and I'm just everybody's talking, so I don't want to call people twice. Hi, Lucy Lawless. How are you? Hi, Pain. Hi, Holistic. Hi, Rosebud. Welcome. Hi, Becky. Welcome. Becky, I think I talked to you in the DMs today. I'm not sure. I think you sent me a DM. I can't remember. Let's see. Hi, Austin. How are you? Pamela, welcome. Hi. Let me see. Who else we have? Hi, Sarah Z. Hi, Crystal. Oh, I try to get everybody. Let's see. Hi, Brooke. Welcome. Natalie. Hi. Hi, Kendallin. Hi, Pat. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Locked Vault. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Gwen. Hi, Gwen. How are you? I hope you're feeling better. Let's see who else we have in here. Hi, Danielle. How are you? Hi, Billy. Nice to see you guys. Okay, guys, I think I've caught everybody for right now. I see how many people are watching. Hi, Laura. Welcome, baby. All right. Mommy Says Bad Words.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think I followed you once before on another account, and then I started following you again recently. How long have you how long have you been on Instagram?
Since the end of 2019.
Okay, this is when you decided you want to start doing blogging or what?
I went from Reddit and got chased off of there and decided to come to Instagram. And I saw the OGs like More Biggie making memes, and I was like, hey, I can go ahead and do that. So went and gave it a shot, and after a little while, it took off.
Oh my God. Okay. Guys, I see there's a lot of new people coming in, and I'm not going to interrupt Mommy. So welcome, everybody. I see Brenda. I see Billy. I see Cheryl. God, I feel like I'm saying Sesame Street stuff. I see Princess. I see Geoffrey. I see Kelly Brown. Monorita 146. Chronic. I see you, Cupcakes. Oh my God. Guys, everybody, welcome to the chat. I was doing my Sesame Street roll call. So when you got into doing this, so the hi Katie, welcome. Yeah, Romper Room. That's it. Thank you, Romper Room. Hi, Dustin. Hi, Christy Denver. So you got into it. So who was the first cast member that you ever really reached out to?
It was Geoffrey's season were the first people. So I believe Erica was the very first one I reached out to. Mm-hmm. And she and I formed a friendship, and she and I are still friends to this day.
Okay.
But it was the people during that season is when I was young and naive enough to be like, hey, let's go ahead and welcome all of the new cast members that are here, because being new, I was like, well, it can't hurt to befriend a cast member. And little did I know.
So this is when you introduce yourself to Geoffrey.
Yes.
And how long were you and Geoffrey friends? Oh, well, I'm going to say friends. I'm going to just state this. They were friends on social media. There
Correct.
was no relationship. They were
No.
okay.
No.
Let's just clarify that.
Yeah,
So,
no romantic, never met in person, never did a face-to-face, never did a phone call. It was just strictly IG.
okay. So you reached out to Geoffrey and he responded. So you guys started communicating after that. So
Yes.
when you first started talking with Geoffrey, what were your I don't know, what kind of vibe did you get from him?
In the very beginning, I thought he was a really good person. He was intelligent, he was charming, he was very engaging. He just came off as somebody that you're like, yeah, I could hang with this person in real life. He came off the way that he wanted me to view him.
Okay. Um let's see. So during this time, he was on the show and he was dating Varia.
This was actually before his season. When
Before
they
his season.
announced the new cast, so it was about 2 months before the season started, is when I first talked to him.
Okay. So during that time, did he ever mention that he was dating Varia?
He wouldn't go into it. That's one thing. He was very careful not to break his NDA, so he did not discuss, nor did he in the future really talk about her with me at all.
Okay. So, so when did you first start hearing about Varia?
Right before the season, because I did the same thing. I introduced myself to her, but we didn't really. She was like oh, okay, thank you, and that was the extent of the conversation. So, of course, you probe a little bit, like, hey, are you guys still together? What's going on? And
Mhm.
he just wouldn't, respond. And he's like, you'll have to watch the show and wait and see. Kind of the same response every cast member gives you because they don't want to break NDA. So I didn't hear much about her at all. Once the season rolled out, like after the episodes, I would hear it didn't happen that way. We got a bad edit. So it wasn't until the season started and they became on air did he ever really talk about her, at least with me.
So, how did you get involved with Jeffrey's court case? I
Oh,
mean, with the with the custody and how did you become involved with all of that?
he told me about that almost immediately.
Okay.
He made mention that there was an incident earlier that year, the prior year, I'm sorry. So, because this was early, I think 2019
Mm-hmm.
or 2020. He was told me there was an incident going on that happened with his ex-girlfriend, and it was completely fabricated, that she was in cahoots with his current wife and then his most recent ex-wife to get custody taken away from him. And he was like, the network knows about it, but my trial's not until whenever it was. I don't remember the dates.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
was like, oh,
So,
okay. Well, if
so
the
that's
network knows, it can't be,
it can't be that
freaking
bad.
horrific because
Okay.
the network knows about it.
So, what did he tell you about Kristen, if anything?
The only thing he told me about her was that she was his ex-girlfriend. He never used the word fiance. It was his ex-girlfriend who was trying to get his custody revoked from his youngest son from his current wife. And that's about all he told me about her. he did have me look up her social media, which is something I didn't talk about last night because I completely forgot.
Why would he have you look up her social media? Why wouldn't he?
His whole intention with that was to make her look bad and slander her. And the one thing that he harped on was the fact that the incident happened in June and she was married in December. So he made mention, like, don't you think it's kind of funny that within a 4-month span, we went from being in a relationship to her being married to somebody else?
Well, I found that to be quite strange too. But I also find the fact that he was in a relationship with her, Varia, and someone else at the same time too. So he
Right.
can talk. But okay, so with all of that going on, you said last night that he gave you paperwork to prove that because he had been accused before,
Right.
allegedly, of abuse, but he gave you paperwork to show you that this was thrown out. So when you saw this paperwork, what were your immediate thoughts on that?
Being as facts driven as I am, I looked at it, and I mean, this was hundreds of pages of documents, and I did pour through them because at the time I was thinking, well, this guy deserves his story told, because at that point I still thought he was a good person, and I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. And the paperwork that he either directed me to find online myself or ones that he already had on hand and just gave them to me, he highlighted the accusations that were made by, I believe, 2 of his ex-wives and his current wife. And it ranged everywhere from emotional abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, all the way to sexual abuse. And what he highlighted was the fact that all of those claims were thrown out by different judges for various reasons. So he's showing me, hey, look, I've been accused of these things before by multiple women and nothing ever stuck. Don't you find that kind of funny? And just looking at the papers alone, I was like, yeah, that is kind of weird. And then the conspiracy theory kept going. Oh, well, that's because they all talk to each other. His second ex-wife was talking with the third ex-wife, who was talking with the current ex-wife, and which was talking to what I thought was his ex-girlfriend, Kristen, and they were all in cahoots to get all of his children removed from his custody.
Okay, so at this time, you were actually believing that because of the paperwork that he either sent to you or the paperwork that he directed you to get online, correct?
Correct. I had never seen the pictures. I never saw the arrest report. I knew of the text messages that he brought up in the trial, but he told me that his lawyer advised him not to share that. So I've heard of those, and I heard what they supposedly said, but I've never seen them, just like I never saw the police report and I never saw the pictures. So all I had to go on were legal documents that are available to the public that show all these allegations getting thrown out by various judges, in some cases in various countries. So he asked me to share those, which naively I did.
Did you think that was strange that he asked you to share those and he didn't put those? Because I see a lot of cast members putting up stuff. Didn't you think that was odd that he asked you to share them and he didn't do it himself?
No, because he had a very small following at that point, and so did I, to be fair.
That's what I'm saying.
I
You
had,
had a small following, but he was on the show. Didn't you
this
find
was before the show even aired. He had me starting to post these because I remember Starcasm had almost all of the same exact documents that I have, and they had started to share before I did. And I think that may have been motivation. And I don't know how many other pages, if any, had reached out to him to say, hey. So I was aware if he ever talked to another page at that point. So I'm thinking, well, I'm the only one, he's asking if I can help, why not give him the benefit of the doubt? Let me share the legal documents. But what I made very clear to him, and I made very clear in my post, was that I was a neutral party in this, that all I was doing was sharing legal documents that were available to the public, and that I didn't know the whole story. And if I found out the whole story and it proved that he was guilty, that is something I would be sharing. And he said he completely understood, but wasn't worried because he was completely innocent.
Okay. So when did you start seeing the change in Geoffrey?
As the season went on, he became more egotistical. Everything became about how he appeared to the fans, how the other, meme pages and the bloggers perceived him, the articles, how they were written, how that shaped the narrative about him. He just became really obsessed with it.
Okay.
And the first big red flag for me is when he got Sarcasm's page shut down,
See,
because I
mm,
knew at the time he was doing it. He was like, I'm just going to keep striking them. I believe it was copyright. And he just thought it was so fun. I mean, he just genuinely got joy from doing that to her. And I know she had worked on that page for years and was legitimate. She has her own website. She's a journalist, but she shared documents, and her perception of them was different than mine was at that point, and that was unacceptable to him. So in his mind, she needed to go.
okay. Joan said, thank you for the super chat, Joan. Joan said, I'm sure had you seen the pictures, you would not have supported him. None of us would have. Oh my
Oh,
God, those
absolutely
pictures.
not.
So,
No.
see, I was trying, and I see Yahoo Boy is here. Geoffrey tried to dox me early on and tried to have me shut down with sarcasm. See, now I know for a fact when I was on my other channel,
Hi, Jeff.
we were looking at, you know, bringing Shelby up at one point, and the whole thing was, oh my God, he likes to shut pages down. He's a
Yep.
nasty person. He's this. See, but I was never scared of Geoffrey. So as long as you speak the truth is there. So I've never liked him, not even on the show, and I've made that clear. I never found anything about him to be remotely attractive or handsome. This is my opinion.
Right.
I've had Mary on my panel twice. Like Mary, as I said, when you and I spoke, I talked to Shelby when she first told me about Geoffrey. I believed everything she said. Another young woman in the UK reached out to me. I believe everything she said. They were all scared to come forward about him because they were scared of the retribution they would get. Shelby reached out to me not too long ago. She wanted to come up, but at this time he was trying to press charges against her. This guy is sick. He's sick. He needs counseling.
Yeah.
So when you saw the change in him, oh, Yahoo Boy knows them all too. Okay. He knows them all. So when you saw the change come in to him, I mean, when you saw his ego, well, his ego was always there. But when he started directing that anger or attitude towards you, how did you handle that?
I started to back off. It was what the biggest red flag and what really made me pull away was the way he completely changed when he was told they weren't allowed to be on the tell-all.
Oh,
And
you
because
say
that
that.
was the petition that was going around that was successful to get him removed. And before that, once he realized I wasn't a large enough platform to spin the narrative in his direction, he pulled away from me, and the chats were no longer just friendly banter back and forth like, hey, how's your day? Blah, blah, blah. It was always a kind of referred to as business like,
Okay.
you know.
Now you heard him when he testified.
Yeah.
He said they chose not to go to the reunion when we all knew that he was banned and he was not the invitation was not extended to him, and he knows why.
Right. He told me that he was not allowed to film with TLC until his case was completed. And he was furious about it. And that flipped a switch. And that's when you started to see the heavy drinking and what I suspect to be drug use, because in my experience, his actions, that wasn't purely alcohol. And I think we all remember the ones where he was putting makeup on, and when he played strip poker or some stripping game with Dom Naughty, and all that behavior really yanked me back. And at one point I tried to come at him as a friend, like, all right, I'm noticing that you're drinking a lot more. Your behavior is becoming erratic. Are you okay? I'm fine. Don't, it's no big deal. I had a few drinks. I was just having fun. In the beginning, it was like, okay, because it happened, sparingly. But once it became a pattern of every time he would go live or post or comment, he was just vicious and arrogant and erratic. That's when I pulled back completely and was like, I am not going to watch you spiral like this. I want no part of it. You do what you're going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
So when he realized that you were, now at one point, I'm going to get back to that question. At one point, you were friends with Warrior as well, correct?
Yes. Not as good of friends, but she and I would have several conversations on multiple occasions.
Oh my God, he went live taking a shower? Really?
I remember that. Oh my God. Yeah, he did.
I never followed him. And, I'm friends with Dom. And when I would go on Dom's lives, when he would come up. Now, I have to admit, when they were in Gaithersburg and they were at the Airbnb or wherever they were staying, I watched the live till a certain point. And at a certain point, I just can't, I can't deal with Geoffrey. It's just something about him. My skin would crawl. And I'm serious. My skin would crawl. So when he cut up in Gaithersburg, he cut up there as well. He seems to have an issue with drinking. And I know we all like to drink sometimes, but whenever you go and wherever you get out of hand. You were thrown out of a bar in December when he was out with marrying her boyfriend, him and this other chick he was seeing. They were thrown out of a bar then. The cops were called. They almost went to jail again. So I don't know if he was doing it because he thinks he's all of that, but and the big thing was he and Warrior weren't together. They've been together since she came over here. She was in Seattle. Then she went to Tennessee. Then she went to Florida. And then she came back to Tennessee. And then so she and Geoffrey have been together. It wasn't a well-kept secret. And then we see Natalie is posting with her dumbass. Excuse me.
Oh my God. I can't believe
she's
she
the
did
dumbest
that.
Ding dong I've never met her, but she's just dumb. And she's saying she's praying for him. Okay, what you need to be doing is praying for that woman that he put. And just in case we forget what she looks like, here we go.
Oh God, I can't stand those pictures. It makes my stomach drop.
That's what he did to her. But she bounced off a wall. She bounced off a door. She rolled out the door, hit the cement. Come on, Geoffrey. Come on. And the fact when they were in the courtroom and he was staring straight ahead, not even looking at those photos. If you'd have known those photos, and we said it earlier, you would have never, ever defended him.
Not in a million years. If I saw those photos at any point other than the first time I saw them was day one of testimony, I would have blocked him immediately. It would have been game over. But I never saw them. And to my knowledge, I don't think anybody had access to them. I think they were waiting to present it during the trial. And I know the trial kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, which made him angrier. as the months went on because he just really wanted to film and be back in front of the camera. And I know that made him more aggravated. And that's when he was really lashing out at any and everybody. And that's when he, was trying to get Yahoo Boy taken down and a couple of other pages.
Because
that was
they
like
weren't
the
spinning his
second
narrative.
spiral.
Okay, they weren't spinning his narrative, so he wants to get everybody taken down.
Basically, yes.
Okay, so I know. Oh my God, I just got a bad taste in my mouth just looking at that photo again.
I
But
know.
I'm a firm believer. There are three sides to every story. There's his, hers, and the truth is in the middle.
Correct.
There is no excuse. I don't care what side there is to do that to anyone, let alone a woman.
No.
Okay. And then for you to come up and the stories that he told you, could you tell everybody how he said, he said that it was explained to them. How did he explain the case that he had pending with Kristen?
What he told me was that he and his girlfriend emphasized the girlfriend part because I had no idea they were engaged. That they got into an argument one night and she got upset over something. I don't remember what he said the excuse was. And I didn't know the extent of her injuries at this point. So, and he didn't give me that information. And now I know why. He said, that she was just doing this to try to get custody taken away from him, from his youngest son, and that his current wife was in cahoots with her and his second ex-wife was. He just spun this conspiracy theory web that had all these fingers that just went through, and every person in that conspiracy theory just happened to have accused him of abuse at some point in his life.
So this conspiracy theory, so the ex-wife, the first ex-wife, the second ex-wife, the ex-girlfriend / fiance, they were all working together.
No. First ex-wife he's on good terms with.
Okay.
Supposedly. Ex-wife number 2, number 3, and his current wife, and then Kristen. They were all in cahoots because from what he told me, ex-wife number 2 had gotten recently remarried and her husband wanted to adopt their son, and Geoffrey was not allowing that. So according to him, she was trying to make it so that custody was revoked so that her new husband could go ahead and adopt their son.
Thank you, Kelly Brown. Here's what I was getting to. Thank you, Kelly. How would that benefit Kristen to work? See, none of it makes sense to me when I even heard him spewing this nonsense. None of it makes sense to me.
It made none, but I don't even know why I didn't see that it made no sense. I think my brain just went to, well, the legal paperwork says this. And that's where my brain was.
Okay, but that can be, that can be on a technicality. It may not be he's innocent.
Right.
It can be a technicality.
It didn't even dawn on me when he said that, Kristen was working in cahoots with them. It didn't even occur to me that there was nothing in it for her. I don't know why it didn't. I mean, I was obviously very naive at the time, and looking back at it, it was pretty stupid of me not to see what was right in front of me, and I regret not seeing it, but I really wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I really did, because at that point in the very beginning, I had no reason to not give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, see, I guess it's just me, okay? I don't, and just hold on a minute. Okay, Glen Crack Cottage, I see you in the chat. I just want to make sure that you understand that we're being respectful in here. This chat, I do not tolerate any nonsense here. So as long as you're respectful, you're more than welcome to be in here. But if Glen Crack gets out of hand, get rid of him. if you see him before I do, or her, whoever it is. But I'm just want to say that because I know that's what they call a troll account, and I do not do that. But as long as you're respectful, I'm going to leave you in the chat. So when Kristen first reached out to you, why didn't you believe Kristen when she was telling you all? Not Kristen, when Shelby reached out to you, why didn't you believe her?
All right. When Shelby first messaged me, it was a very awkward encounter.
Okay.
She basically demanded that I post a story about a love triangle between her, Mary, and Geoffrey, and was very pushy about it. And she was telling me that she had been seeing Geoffrey and that, he and Varya weren't together anymore and that they were in love. And, she went to his house this date and this date. And it just struck me as really odd that completely out of the blue, this woman who I've never heard of demands that I post a story. So in my head, I'm thinking, are you trying to chase clout? So I messaged both Mary, who I didn't really know and still don't know very well.
Unlike Mary, yeah, and I'm surprised what I heard from the other day, but I didn't witness this. But thank you, Natalie, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Go ahead, Mommy.
So I went to both I'm sorry, both Mary and Geoffrey, and I was like, listen, there's a woman here claiming that there's a love triangle going on, and wants me to post a story. Like, are you asking me to plant something? And the two of them had the same story. She's a super fan. Just ignore her. She's talking out of her ass. Nothing ever happened. Just ignore her. So that's what I did, because it was a random person that just messaged me and demanded I did something. So I didn't take very well to being told what to do in the first place. But then the fact that the other two people who are supposedly involved are like, yeah, she's crazy. I didn't believe her.
Okay, maybe it was the way she approached you, but the way she came to me and the way she wrote it, seriously, I was like, oh my God, she's telling the truth. It was just something in what she was saying. And then, if I'm not mistaken, she and I had a couple of IG calls with the conviction and speaking with her. Then when she asked me, could someone else reach out to me? They did. And I was like, oh my God. So then I reached out to a friend of mine, and no, it was not JY. I reached out to a friend and I said, hey, there is something weird here. I said, this guy is really disgusting. And they were like, oh no, they're just stalkers. I've heard all about them. They're stalkers. No, they were not stalkers. These were women that he's lied to. He's been with physically, he's been with emotional. He got so far up Amina's, I shouldn't have called her name, but it was like his SHIT didn't stink.
See, that story I didn't hear till a few months later. That conversation, when Shelby approached me a second time, I don't remember why she did, but we had kind of hashed out the way that our first encounter happened. And, we were like, let's just start over. And that's when she started to go into detail about, look, he's been with me. He's still with Varya. He's been with other women. This is what he's doing. And she went into detail, and I had already started to see him spiral, and I had pulled back and started to really kind of learn who he actually was. And I approached, at this time, Geoffrey alluded to him and Varya not being together, but never said so because he didn't want to break the NDA. I went to Varya and I was like, I am so glad you got rid of Geoffrey. I can't believe that he was dating both you and Shelby at the same time. And I believe this was around March. And she was like, what? And then I went, oh shit, I wasn't supposed, I thought you knew. And she said, no, I didn't know. Promised me she would not tell anybody else. 3 seconds later, turns around, tells Geoffrey. Geoffrey gets in my DMs and blames the entire situation on me. How could I do this to him? Why am I starting drama? Why am I even talking to Shelby? Just flipped the whole situation. And that was basically the last conversation I had with him. So it's been well over a year.
Okay, so here's the thing. When you're saying that someone's stalking you, but you go out and find her a home, you stand there, you send her a video of what the house looks like. This woman uproots herself, move to be closer to you, and you're playing games with her.
So, every woman to him. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Heidi.
No. So what I'm saying to you is, when you finally started, when did you finally start putting these pieces together?
When I talked to Shelby that day. That's when, and especially when he came after me and blamed it on me, I was like, wait a minute. You're the one that is playing multiple women, and you have the audacity to blame me because I talked to Varya in confidence, or what I thought was confidence. And that was the last time I ever spoke to her too, because I realized that she's about as bad as he is in some regards.
This is it's I don't think it was just a show. So he was fired from doing any acting. He was on a lot of the ID Discovery shows. He was playing a detective or whatever.
Yep.
They got rid of him from that. He was and my understanding is that he actually reached out to Court TV. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, that he reached out to them to cover this case. I don't know.
I'm not aware of that. I would have no clue.
Yep. So I don't know. That was a rumor. And to be honest, I never even looked into it because I didn't care, as long as I was going to be able to see it on TV.
Yeah, I had stopped ever since that day. I unfollowed him. I did not post about him. I did not talk about him for the same reasons that Shelby did, because I was afraid of what he could do. So I was not aware of anything that was going on other than what other people post, like, oh, he's gone nutty again. He's screaming in people's comment sections.
I know he had filmed some other episodes, but those were never aired. So, and it's just sad because even when he was playing a detective, I looked at him and I saw a piece of SHIT. That's what I saw when I looked at him. To me, he has short man syndrome. Seriously. He has short man syndrome. He's lifting weights all the time. And, he wants to be buff. Even when he went overseas and he met Varya's family, and just the way he was when Varya decided that she didn't want to accept his ring at that time, it was like, how dare you not take this ring? Did you not see that? Even just coming across on film, you saw that in him.
Very entitled. He's very narcissistic. He believes that he is smarter than everyone else. And don't get me wrong, he's not a stupid individual. He's an intelligent man. But he thinks that he's smarter than everybody else, and that's his downfall. Is he doesn't realize that we're just as smart as you are. You're not the only person. You're not Einstein. All right. Take a seat and calm down.
So with Mary, I felt bad for her. They've been friends for a long time. And I don't know if you saw, but I had Mary on here. And when she was here, she told us what happened in December. And she said that she would, it was best for her to cut any kind of communication off with Geoffrey. She says that she and a guy she was in a relationship, they had a swinging style relationship where they can be with the person they want, but as long as they know them or whatever else. She said that with Geoffrey's temperament, he would have never allowed that. And, so she said it. So when we were in here looking at the court, when they read the verdict, and I saw first I had to blink. I'm like, is that Mary? And I said, no, that can't be. And I looked again. I said, oh my God, that is Mary. Up until, I don't know when they started speaking again, because I had her on in March. She said she hadn't spoke to him since December, and she had no intentions of speaking to him. And I know they have been friends for a long time.
I'm sure he groveled because he needed the support. He reached out to I found out today by talking to Brooke, that he was reaching out to several different like meme pages, bloggers, vloggers. He was just trying to find anybody that could throw it against the wall and get it to stick. So it doesn't surprise me. I'm sure that he went back to her and was looking for that unwavering support, because that's what she gave him before. And it appears like she's doing it again, which is very surprising to me that she was in tears.
Yep.
After all of this.
Now, I was surprised that Varia wasn't there.
I wasn't.
Shocked. But don't know why she wasn't there. But this is the woman that you're supposedly with. And then after the verdict, she shut her page down, and Mary has shut hers down.
Yep.
Now, my understanding is there was a lot of yelling after the court, and they were going after Kristen. I don't know. I didn't witness it because I was watching it on YouTube. Well, when I did the verdict, I was watching it on Twitter. So I don't know what happened.
And the woman, Ashley, admitted, I think I saw this on Yahoo Boy's story. She admitted that she was the one that screamed lying bitch to Kristen. So I don't think Mary said anything.
Okay.
But his quote unquote BFF, Ashley, was the one who screamed that and admitted it. She seemed quite proud of herself from the screenshot that I saw.
Okay, but this is what was surprising to me. Because when Mary was on with me the first time, she spoke to us at the length about the abuse that she had suffered at the hands of an ex. So,
yeah, I remember that.
I was shocked to see her there after seeing these pictures, now, I don't care about the text messages. I don't care I can text you a damn message right now and you can save my name in your phone under anything you wanted to.
They didn't prove anything.
Not mean those messages came from me. So my problem is there's a lot of stuff that was missing in that case. I would have loved to have a doctor come up, but that's fine. We have the pictures. I would love to have known about that dump, because I believe Geoffrey set up on that stand. He lied. Why did he bring up his deceased child to associate that with Kristen? And to me, I think the fact in my heart, I believe that he got drunk. He had a flashback of his son deceased. He was in her care. He could have had a lot of built up anger, and he saw her on the phone, because I know damn well he didn't walk that dog. How are you going to call your son when you're drunk to talk about your dogs? When really, seriously,
it didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense to me.
None.
And the shit he was spewing in that courtroom, don't get me wrong, I was pissed at the prosecutor and I was pissed at the defense attorney, because they both were idiots. So, and then when he was talking about the squirrel that fell out the tree, I got confused.
I didn't get the squirrel. I mean, I understand what he was trying to do, but every time they said the word squirrel, I wanted to hit something.
Yeah, and everybody in my chat was going, well, shit, maybe the squirrel should get up there and testify. Maybe the squirrel should be a defense attorney. It was just like, but I couldn't understand, what about the squirrel? I know he said that she had called him, they were on the phone, the squirrel fell out the tree. What does that have to do with the fact that you beat this woman to a pulp?
Absolutely nothing. He's just trying to tarnish her reputation. Just the same reason why he brought up about his deceased son. Like, oh, look, she's not an angel. My kid was in her care and he passed away. It was all
That's the way he did it.
slander.
That's exactly the way he did it. And I'm trying to figure out who gives a shit about your life history. Why do you want to come off so human now when you're sitting there, you're arrogant, and it's like you don't, he didn't even shed a tear. He didn't even have the common decency to look at those photos. He didn't.
He knew his expression would have given it away if he looked at those. And I think a tiny piece of him knows that what he did was wrong, but I genuinely think that he just does not have the capacity to have empathy for anybody.
Anybody.
None.
Guys, do you have any questions for Mommy Says Bad Words? So, okay, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to go ahead and say what else you have to say, because I want to hear the rest of it. And I know that you and Voria didn't talk. I know you said last night that you asked Shelby to reach out to Kristen and let her know that you were sorry.
Yes.
And have you heard from her at all?
Not yet. Right after I saw those pictures, I had tears in my eyes, and my stomach was in my throat, and I felt so bad that a part of me did not believe her. And the only thing that gave me a smidge of comfort in that was I was reading the court TV, the commentary, and I saw a lot of people say, had I not seen those pictures, I probably would have believed his story. And in my head, I'm going, that's exactly okay. I'm not the only person that could be convinced of his bullshit had there not been the pictures. But I just felt so bad. After I saw the slide through, I just hopped on my DMs and I went into Shelby's, and I was like,
is here right now. Shelby, if you want to, I can drop the link.
Hi, Shelby.
Because I was just telling everybody the first time you reached out to me, I believed every word you said. Never doubted you. Never, ever, ever. And it was just the way she came at me, the way she approached me, and what she said. And when I tell you it was some long ass DMs, and I
remember that
one of them. And I was like, oh my God, this man is absolutely sick.
No, Shelby was sweet enough to let Kristen know that what I had said, and expressed to her that I would like to be able to have the chance to one-on-one have a conversation with her, and she needs time to decompress. And I said, that's fine, however long it takes, but I need to tell her one-on-one that I am sorry that I had any doubt that he did not do this.
Yeah. Becky, I'm dropping the link for you right now. I dropped the link. So what you want to do is you want to click that link. When you click the link, it's going to say allow mic and camera. Say yes. Once you get backstage, if you don't want to show your face, there's a button that says stop cam. You can stop the camera. Becky and I spoke earlier, and she wanted to come up. It's just, oh my God. Yes. And you know what? I'm thinking that too. And then I go back to the fact that Geoffrey and Mary had been friends for so long. Well, yes, Shelby is here. And I told Shelby if she wanted to come up, she's more than welcome to come up. So I just want everybody to be respectful. But he deserves everything he has coming to him.
Yes, he does. Everything and more.
Yes, Shelby is in the chat. Yes, I saw her, Joan. Thank you for the super chat. I sent her, the link is there if Shelby wants to come up. I know Becky wanted to come up, but Mommy, I'm just glad that, okay, I hear an echo, Mommy.
Do you hear? I don't hear an echo.
It was a bad.
Oh. The one thing that I didn't get to talk about is the reason why I never posted about Geoffrey after he came after me. He knows my identity. He at one point sent me email documents, and at that time the only email I had was one that had my full name in it. And at that point, I considered us friends. So I was like, you know what? You're one of two people that know who I am. I'm fine with it. And I know what he did to Sarcasm. I know what he did to Yahoo. I knew what he was doing to Shelby. And I was, honest to God, afraid of what he would do because I didn't know if he was going to dox me. I didn't know if he was going to hop on a YouTube or a live and have people come after me, or if I was going to all of a sudden turn into psycho. I was afraid of him. And I was talking to Shelby even the first day of the trial when I was posting. I said, you know, I'm taking a huge risk by doing this because he's not behind bars right now. And I know he watches my page because he's spoken about me periodically to another cast member. So I know that he watches my activity. And I said, you know, I told Shelby, I said, I'm afraid of what he could do, but I owe it to Kristen to post this stuff anyway.
Okay, Shelby is here, and okay, Mommy, I need you to turn your volume down.
Turn the volume down. Is that better?
Yes. So Shelby, sweetie, you're here. Thank you for coming up. I just saw your message because my phone is nowhere near me, but I saw a little thing come across my screen. Would you like to tell your story about, well, your dealings with Mr. Geoffrey? I'm not even going to say Mr. with Geoffrey.
I don't want to go into it too much because I know this is Mommy's interview and I know she has some important stuff she wants to say. And
well, we're finished with Mommy's interview. I mean, we were just talking. I dropped the link because I knew Becky wanted to come up. She wanted to say something, but Mommy, you know, she really. When I watched her last night, I said, "Oh my God, I need to have her to come on. I need people to hear this." So with you, Shelby, you and I go back and forth in DMs and conversations. And could you just please just go? We're all listening. Just go say what you have to say, baby.
Well, first off, I just want to say that in support of Mommy in this, like both of us and a lot of people, women, men, how 215,000 people, that's the number of followers he has, were, you know, maybe not all of them. I don't want to, you know, say the people that weren't, but like, I don't even know what the word is. I don't even want to say fooled or like duped. It was more than that. It was like
manipulated,
mind control, like brain. I mean, everyone's like, oh, brainwashing is like a dramatic term, but like, no, that's what it was. And that's what someone like Geoffrey does. And I don't want to go into like good, bad, or indifferent because, you know, mental illness and stuff like that is not about being good or bad. It just is what it is. And no one's diagnosed Geoffrey, and I'm not an expert, but, you know, someone who displays sociopathic, narcissistic personality tendencies, that's what they do to people. And everyone that has watched his Instagram and his Instagram, I mean, that's his biggest place. You know, here's a man who has just been convicted of aggravated kidnapping, domestic assault, interference with a 911 call. We saw those photos, and I'll go into like who I am with him in a second, but we saw those photos, and I know for everyone who was watching that trial, and that no one was expecting those photos. Nobody, because for the last two years, however long it's been, you know, we had the police report that was public knowledge, and the police report, read it now, does not do the situation even
not at all
justice. It sounds like from the police report that, you know, there was some blood on the walls and the couch was turned over and she displayed signs of a concussion. That's what it said. So, you know, when you think about it, and I said this on a live the other night, like football players all the time, they get concussions when they, but you take their helmet off, there's no visible, maybe they'll have a bump, but like maybe not, there's no visible indication of it. So concussion doesn't mean it doesn't describe anything, you know? So, but we're hearing that, and Geoffrey goes with that narrative, and that, you know, she she had a bump on her forehead. You know, it's just a bump. She had, you know, a little bump right here. She hit her head. That's what we were led to believe for the last 2 years. So we're sitting in trial and they put that picture up. I literally got the wind knocked out of me. Like, I was streaming it live from the Truth About Paschel page, just like Mommy. Like, I didn't know what to do the first day because, like Mommy said, like, there was still another day of trial. So I knew he was going home that night. Now, did I really think that he was going to, like, spend his possible last night of freedom, you know, messing with me or anyone else? Actually, yeah, I did. But I decided to stream it on the Truth About Paschel page. Like, didn't matter anymore. Didn't matter to me. Even if he wasn't convicted, which I guess
thank God he was. But Shelby, when you and I talked, when we DM'd the last few times and you wanted to come on, you were facing him pressing charges against you.
He did.
Okay. Could you do me a favor? Someone in the chat, and she has like epilepsy or something. Could you please like sit the phone still because it's making her a little. Thank you so much.
Hold on. I'm going to turn off the camera while I find a place.
Okay. Thank you, sweetie.
No one gets nauseous. Hang on.
Yes.
I'm not set up for things. Oh my God. Sorry for the noise. Hold on.
No, that's okay.
I think I got it. Let's see.
Okay, you have it.
Are we good? Are we better now?
Yes, you're better. Oh,
okay, sorry.
You're all comfortable? Yes, you're better. Okay. All right. She's still now. Okay. Yes, ma'am. So when you and I spoke, and you know, you were talking about coming up, but you wanted to wait until the trial and see what was going to happen. And you're the one that gave me the new court date because they had been extended. He was trying to press charges against you for stalking.
So, yeah. And as of this moment, I guess, technically, I mean, there is a lawsuit open from him against me. I have not been served yet. They tried to deliver it certified mail to me about probably like 2 weeks ago. And then they left a note that was like, it's at the post office, and it said it was from the state of Tennessee. So obviously I was like, nope, not picking that up.
Not going to get it. Nope.
My dad, I used to run my dad's process serving company, so I know how serving works. So I knew that if I didn't pick it up, Geoffrey would have to pay to have them serve me. And I know Geoffrey. I mean, you can't get him to pick up a penny off the ground and then spend that, you know? So I knew he wasn't going to spend money to serve me, you know? So he did. I don't know what is in the lawsuit. I can only imagine. He did file 2 false police reports against me in Tennessee. They are, you know, Geoffrey has started, I can't even tell you, I don't even know how many ID channel shows, Snapped, Oxygen, you know, Homicide Hunter. I mean, I don't know why people are so surprised at his story. It's the whole trial was like right out of a Lifetime movie, you know.
It really was.
Yeah. I mean, he's been in enough, you know, true crime shows to come up with, you know, this amazing story that's capturing for an audience and in a trial and dramatic, and everyone's like surprised. I'm like, come on. This is the moment. That court trial was the moment, as sick as it is, was the moment he had been waiting for. You know, now he's famous. He's on E! News. He's in People. He's in Touch. He's in Us.
Everywhere. Everywhere. I feel sorry for the kids. Make no mistake about this. I do not feel sorry for Geoffrey. My thoughts are with his mother and with his kids. I don't feel sorry for Varia at all, because you were with the man that you knew that was cheating, that was a womanizer. You've been warned, you've been told, you've been shown proof, but you were still with him. For what reason? Don't know, because you didn't need him for a visa. Exactly. So don't understand it.
Exactly. You know, I feel sorry for his kids as well. I know his kids. I know Paxton, Dakota, Miles.
Don't call his kids names, please. I mean, he called them on. No, that's okay, because he called them on trial. That's okay. You can say them.
They're all over social media, but
Yeah,
and
you
he
can say them.
talks about them all the time, and in the show he talks about them and all that, and they're in the show. But so his 3 oldest boys I know, and I have spent not his oldest one time I met him, and his oldest wife, and they're such sweet people. But so I do feel bad for them, you know. His oldest is kind of, you know, he knows what's going on. He knows what's going on. He knows what happened. He saw it, all that.
How do you think, knowing his oldest son or meeting him, how do you think he felt seeing those pictures? How would you feel if that was your father up there and he's been accused of all these things? You heard about it. You know the trial's coming up. Your dad's probably telling you, oh, no, she was just pissed one night. We got into a little whatever. But when you see those photos.
It's sad to me what's happened since the trial has ended, because, I mean, it's for anyone to see on Geoffrey's.
Becky, where did you go? Come back up. Look, yeah, I'm sorry.
On his Instagram, on his latest post, you know, people went to the latest post and started commenting, you know, appropriate things for the situation, but not, you know, nasty. And his second oldest son jumped on there from his handle and started going back at people. And it made me sad because, you know, I think he's either 20 or 21 now. And so he's young, you know, and this is a fight. Well, first off, this isn't his fight. This isn't his children's fight. And they've been unfairly thrown into not only the scenario of a parent going to prison. Again, I don't even know if they were born when he was 19. I don't think so, but going now.
Yeah.
And not only going to prison, but going to prison in the most public way. Like, everybody knows what he did now. Everybody has seen it. It wasn't like there was a trial and like someone was in there and they came back and they were like reporting what happened. And like, no, we were in the courtroom. We heard his testimony. We heard him stumble over his words. I don't know if you noticed, but
I noticed. Did you see his eyes? He couldn't blinking really quick. He could not, you know, he didn't know where she was going with the questioning. And he was thinking, okay, do they have proof that these are doctors? I mean, so what YouTube interview is she talking about? He was trying to think ahead of her.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting some of her line of questioning. And a couple times, you know, Heather, who's the prosecutor, you know, she tripped him up a few times. And if you watch, you know, we're all watching the trials, it's happening. And like, you could rewind it and play it back, but like, we're watching as it's going on. And I'm catching things that he's saying and all that kind of stuff. You know, he never mentions the wall in the beginning. It's strictly the door. She hit her head on the door. No mention of like the walls where the blood is that we've already seen. And all of that. The DA, you know, the prosecutor at one point said, well, what about the blood on the wall? And then he goes, oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, she was trying to reach for a light. So I want to introduce you guys to Becky. Becky has quite a story. And I don't know who's doing his, but Becky has been, well, Becky, I'm going to let Shelby finish what she has for what she was telling us. And then I'm going to let you speak. Is that okay, sweetie? Okay. Becky, can you hear me?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, so just hold on. Let me let Shelby. So Shelby, when he was saying that you moved there to stalk him, did Geoffrey find that house for you?
So we both looked for houses. There was like a couple different things that were possible to happen. Just for anyone who doesn't know who I am, I mean, you can go on Geoffrey's live. There's a whole live about me. And I dated Geoffrey long distance to start beginning in March 2020. And then I moved to Tennessee February 1st of 2021. And the last time I spoke to him was March 1st of 2021. And then I moved March 16th to Florida. But anyway, when we ended things, I got an influx of messages from women literally all over the world who were currently in, you know, a communication messaging relationship because they were in Scotland, Netherlands. And then there were women that messaged me and said, you know, apologizing to me because they had been talking with Geoffrey and had gone to Tennessee and spent time with him and all of that. And they had no clue about me until, you know, everything kind of ended. I mean, people had ideas because Geoffrey followed me and he only followed like 30 people. He liked my post. His son followed me. So anyway, when it all ended, he came up with the narrative that he didn't know who I was, that I was just a follower, that, you know, in the beginning was like his bulldog and, you know, jumping on everyone, like defending him. And then I turned into a hater and I was stalking him.
Yep, that was the narrative. You were a crazy stalker.
Stalker. Like the word just, Shelby Bart is my stalker. Shelby Bart is my stalker. And she's crazy. She's not mentally well. Like creating this narrative, this public figure, you know, I mean, this is how much he does not give a shit. Pardon my language. Natalie, we were in a relationship for a year, from the time his season aired until March here. And yeah, so he created that narrative to kind of divert people's attention from like the obvious.
Wait a minute. He invited Lock Vault out too? Oh my God.
He tried to hit on me once and I shut him down real fast. He'd think he does that to every woman he talks to.
I mean, it's...
What did you find appealing about Geoffrey, Shelby? I've never asked you that question before. What did you find appealing about him?
Linda from The Melanated Way asked me that question last night too. And like, I was speechless for a moment because now I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I've been sober for like a lot of years, so I can't blame it on like alcohol or drugs. I would really love to, you know, like, that I was just high as a kite and, you know, beer goggles on. But I was sober as a judge. But I don't know. Like, I had never watched 90 Day Fiancé before, and my roommate, you know, the first episode was like, you got to watch this show. It's wild. And I was like, I am not watching this solution for my mind. I was like, I'm not doing it. So, and then we sat down for the first episode and I watched like 10 minutes of it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is everything.
Just to be clear, he was dating you when he was still with Varia, right?
Yes. So Geoffrey and Varia never ended per se. You know, their season aired. He wasn't invited to the tell-all. In solidarity, Varia didn't go. And, you know, nobody found out. Then Geoffrey, Varia, Mary, I think his sons were on it, you know, for like popped in for a moment. They filmed a tell-all, like a Zoom tell-all hosted by and so they filmed this, and the whole big thing was like Geoffrey was going to the tell-all, like his tell-all, and it was this big thing, and it was a whole build-up and all this kind of stuff. And right before he was going to release it, Sharp sent him an email and said, you know, you're under contract, so if you release this, like, we're suing you, like, you know. So
that was the tell-all he kept saying he was going to do because he wasn't invited, which he says he chose not to go. So that was perjury on the stand right there. They could have got the letter from Sharp stating that he was not invited to the tell-all.
Yes.
Okay. So Becky is here now. I put up, did you know Lock Vault? I don't know if you know who Lock Vault is. She's around IG and YouTube. She says that Geoffrey asked her out. So he was just hitting on anything. No offense, guys. No offense. I'm not being offensive. I don't mean to say it like that, but since he was on the show, I guess he felt that, all these women, which is what it seemed like, because when I would be in Dom's chat, all these women were going, "Oh, he's so handsome. Oh, Geoffrey." So I'm like, who the hell are we looking at? Because I thought something was wrong with my eyes. I really did.
Yeah.
So, but he was never physically abusive to you, was he, Shelby?
No. And, 12 years ago, I got out of from a 3-year-long daily domestic violent relationship, like brutal. And so part of what, like, flipped in my brain or like whatever it was that I heard about the charges, and, in my right mind, I would question, everything. And I did, but I spent time the first day I got there, like I didn't get that violent vibe from him at all. So it's when I saw those pictures, I was like terrified at how composed he was every time I was with me. And composed, blackout drunk, composed, buzzed. We had fights multiple times where I was like in his face. And
now you see that he wouldn't do that to you because that's more charges. I'm not saying he would have.
No, I mean, listen.
Okay, Shelby, hold on a second. Mommy Says Bad Words has to go. She did tell me that she would. Mommy Says Bad Words, I want to thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you giving me your time.
Thank you for having me on.
Appreciate that. And thank you. And we will definitely be talking again soon, sweetie. I appreciate it.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So you realize when you see that. Now, I know you've met Mary, correct? How did you and Mary get along?
So I met Mary on my last visit. I went down there 4 times, 4 separate occasions.
You're a stalker. And you were in his house. You're stalking him. Damn.
I'm stalking him so much he came to my house in Baltimore, right? So, but yeah, so I met Mary the last time, and I was really hesitant to meet Mary, honestly. Like, he had asked previous visits, and I was like, nah, because the vibe that I got from her from the show and then her social media afterwards was just like, and this is not me bashing her, and if she hears this, like, I just didn't get the feeling that she was like a girl's girl. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
It just, and listen, I'm like just now a girl's girl, really. But so the last time he was like, Mary's meeting us. And I was like, okay. And so she comes in, she walks in, we're already at this place. It's like a opening for some new studio, and there's and like, little wine shot glasses, which again, I don't drink, but we're there. And so she comes in, and it's like dark and all that kind of stuff. And she says hello to we're standing around like a table. She says hello to everybody but me. And she knew who I was at this point. She knew that I was in a relationship with Geoffrey. She knew all of it. Knew who I was, and she knew who I was from social media, and so she didn't say anything to me, and I was like very uncomfortable because she has this presence about her too that is like, when she walks in, like, this is my
she has a very seriously, her personality is very strong. She has a presence when I met her. So Becky had to drop. She's going to come back up because she was lagging. She was behind in the conversation, which I don't know how when she's backstage. Let me see. I wonder if the fact that you don't drink is what saved you from physical harm from him. That's
I mean, listen, I'm a fiery girl, even sober. So I don't know that I would have been any more in his face if I was drunk, but he was blacked out most times that we went out. It wasn't like, when someone who drinks, like whatever, and then blacked out, like never, like, no, this is like a regular thing, like drinking to the point of blacking out. So it wasn't something big thing. But anyway, Mary, so I said something to Geoffrey. I was like, I told you she was going to be a bitch to me. Like, I want to leave. And not being like, whatever, I want to leave. But I don't put up with it. Like, I don't know. Maybe she'll figure it out. But I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time for drama. Like, whatever. So he said something to Mary. I told him, I was like, I didn't want him to say anything. And he goes right over and says something to her. And I'm like, oh, my God. I was like, oh, where can I catch an Uber? Like, I got to go. And so after that, a couple minutes later, like, she came up to me and, like, I don't know, maybe commented on my shirt or like something. And then so we started talking. And then after that, it was like not that we were like friendly or anything the rest of the night. It was just we were kind of there. And, I guess they had this thing that if they ever went out and both, Geoffrey and Mary drank, and if Mary didn't feel like she could drive home, she would sleep at Geoffrey's house.
Okay.
On the couch, whatever. So, we're on the way home and he says, Mary's going to stay over. And so I'm thinking, okay, like whatever. And what ended up happening is that I go upstairs and I go to walk in Geoffrey's room, and Geoffrey's laying on the bed, no clothes, on his back, legs spread, just completely butt naked, like at that point, like, just everything's like, hey,
hey,
whatever.
I'm here. Okay.
Right. And so, and when I swing open the door, Mary's in there and she's looking through like a drawer of clothes, I guess for like a shirt to wear. I don't know, because we went to this place called Two Doors and you could smoke in there. And Geoffrey has nothing to do with smoke, hates it, but yet that's his favorite place to go. And when you come back home to his house, thinking back now, it all feels like very serial killerish, but you have to take a shower before you can get in bed. You have to like wash it all off you and clean yourself off. You're not allowed in bed. So, so I open the door and Mary's standing there and she just looks up at me and she says, you need to sleep in the other room. And I'm like, so I was just kind of like shocked. I didn't know like what to say. And Geoffrey's no use to me because he's, and so I go to close the door and Geoffrey's going, no, like Shelby, come back, no. And so I go in his son's room next door, where was his son's room. And so I get in there and I try to go to sleep. And I cried myself to sleep that night because I was just so like upset at the whole thing. I felt completely alone. Like at that point, Geoffrey was not nice to me when I visit. Like he just was like attitude, like all that. And so I sleep in the room the next night. And the next morning, I was in the kitchen and he came in and he started apologizing to me and I started hysterical crying. And I found this weird because anytime I would cry, he would cry. So if I was crying, he would start to tear up. And so I was crying and I was very upset. And he's, I'm so sorry. And he's starting to tear up. And like, that was like a hook moment. You know what I mean? Because I was like, oh my God, like.
He's got you. He's got
really
emotions.
Really does care about me. Like he's crying.
Okay.
So let's go. Becky, are you on point with us yet?
Okay, Becky. So are you ready to tell us your story?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So you want to tell us your story?
So I'm not involved with this Geoffrey at all.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I watched those pictures come up on that TV yesterday. And I literally wanted to vomit. I went and I lived with a very abusive father and got out of that and into a marriage full of abuse.
So you were in a very abusive relationship. I have another sub who lost her eye to an abusive relationship. She wears a prosthetic eye right now, and she's gonna come up. Once I get settled in my new place, we're gonna do a whole thing on our DV. She wants to discuss it. I have a couple of the ladies that have reached out to me that want to discuss it. But what Becky told me was it took her back to her abuse. And you woke up one morning and your house was on fire, you told me, right? I think she's still lagging, but I have to wait.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us about that, please, if you don't mind?
I woke up December 22nd at 9:30 a.m. to smoke what would have been my son's bedroom ended up being a spare bedroom because my daughter had moved out, so we kind of shift bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
The fire was external. So something was thrown at the house. I've already moved 3 times due to being found. I have no teeth.
You have no teeth.
They were booted out of my mouth. None. That's what steel toe boots will do to a jaw.
Oh my God. Oh, Becky.
5 years later, I'm still single. I'm not allowing anyone in my house.
Oh my God. Okay.
If that's how she had to move on, is by being with someone, I understand needing some comfort. I get it.
That's what I was thinking too. Somebody that was there for her, somebody that was there to give her comfort, somebody who felt safe.
My thing has been to try and stay hidden.
So is he in prison? No.
And the only reason I was found is because I had ordered groceries online. And a family member of my ex-partner delivered my groceries.
And they told him where you were. Becky, can you get a restraining order or something against him?
I have one.
Oh my God.
It's a piece of paper.
Exactly. Yep.
It's a piece of paper. I'm in Ontario. I'm in Ontario, Canada.
Oh my God, Becky. I am. And people think I don't read my DMs. And for some reason, when I saw your name, it stuck out. I said, I talked to you today. And I was going back in my head and I opened my IG up when I saw you. And that's when I saw Shelby's message. But like I said, when Shelby reached out to me and when she told me what was going on, and the only thing I was thinking in my head is it'll do her good to stay the hell away from him. But then when he turns the tables on her and said that she's the one that's stalking, and then everybody is repeating the same story. She's a stalker. She's this, she's that. I never once thought Shelby was a stalker. Never met this woman, never heard of her until she reached out to me. It was just what she wrote and the way she wrote it. And people reach out to me all the time and I don't, but I responded to her. And I was like, and somebody that was really close to Geoffrey, that was always DMing with her. And I reached out to her and I said, I believe her. And they were like, no, 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 no. 'Cause I talk to Geoffrey all the time and he says I said, no, no, I believe her. And I wrote her back and I did because, all these women were fooled by the charm and we're friends. We talk every day. He always asks me how am I doing. When my mom was sick, he checked on Okay, that's what they do. They reel you in. They reel you in. They reel you in. They got you on the back burner just in case. But in your case, Becky, oh my God, why didn't they arrest this man? Was this your husband or your boyfriend?
It was my husband.
Why wasn't he arrested? I know you're in Ontario, Canada. By the way, I love Canada. I've been to Quebec. I've been to Ottawa. I've been to Prince. What is it? Prince Edward? Is it Prince Edwards? Yeah. So I used to travel there a lot on business. Never, ever been to Ontario. And trust me, I will be coming there soon because our home office is in Ontario. But why wasn't he ever arrested?
He finally was.
Okay, so
but because of me not pressing charges prior, the first time it was his first offense. Second time it was just a slap on the wrist. The third time he was put in some charges. But that doesn't change my life. Like waking up at 9:30 at night, I wake up at 9:30 a.m., I smell smoke. There's no smoke, but I'm still smelling smoke.
You still have those flashbacks. You still have that PTSD.
I had a PTSD attack yesterday.
You told me that. You said when you saw that. I mean, she sent me this lengthy DM, and I read every bit of it. Shelby, how are you coping? And I know there's a lawsuit pending. I don't want you to get yourself in trouble. I don't know how that's going to work out with him locked up. But how are you coping right now with everything that you've been through?
All of us were waiting for the last 2 days for a long time, months. And, you know, it was supposed to happen August, whatever it was, and it kept getting postponed.
Kept getting postponed, yes, you told me that.
Every time it got postponed, it was like, well, for me, every time it got postponed, it was just a fear, because I was like, now he just has another month or however long to do whatever he wants to do on his social media, say whatever he wants to say, and, you know, go on whatever live anyway. So I was the last 2 days, and like you, Becky, I have PTSD. My PTSD.
Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, I'm doing mine. I'm doing mine.
And so the trial for me.
But it doesn't change the fact that things bring things up.
Mm-hmm.
I can be doing something in the house and it brings back something else.
Mm-hmm.
But now at 9:30 is not my time. That's not my time. Like, that time is permanently in my brain. The fire was ruled arson. An hour after the fire, I got a message from said person asking me how I could let my son's bedroom catch fire.
Guys, I'm looking at your stories. There are so many people in here. One woman says she had a fractured back. I have never, ever been in a relationship like that.
I just want to eat a peanut.
Yeah.
My heart breaks for you, Becky. It really does. And Shelby, I do believe that you were I'm not going to say lucky, I'm going to say blessed, because you never know how anything would have turned out. And in my heart, I do believe that if he wasn't facing those other charges, I really do believe that. I really do, because he was going out of his way to have people think that you were a stalker, you were this, you were that. He was trying to turn the court of public opinion against you so people can think you were crazy. I never thought you were crazy. I never had a second doubt about your story when you told it to me. You
But
already,
they always make it our fault.
yep, you already know that I've spoken to Amina. You know I've
It's
spoken.
always your fault, right?
Yep. So yeah,
Shelby, is it your fault? It was your fault, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been my fault. I don't care anymore. I mean, I still have my issues.
Okay, are you gonna move again? I mean, has he found you again?
I'm going to be running for the rest of my life. No, but it just happened in December. So it's just recent that we were found again. So my son, he won't leave me. Like, he'll be with me for long days.
This is crazy. Look at
But
these stories in this chat.
I will be running for the rest of my life.
This is just, oh my God.
You know, Heidi, like domestic
A couple
violence.
years ago, we had to go to a shelter because he found us.
Okay,
And then we got pushed to here and then to here.
Okay, Becky, hold on a second. F4 Productions, you weren't timed out by my mod. You shouldn't have been. We have a Google bot that's running rampant sometimes. My mods really, they don't time anybody out. I am the one that ejects people from this chat. So it's a Google bot. If you got timed out or if you get timed out, go out and come back in. My mods are not timing anyone out. I said anybody that's being disrespectful, I haven't seen anything disrespectful in the chat. I have people in this chat that normally don't come in here, people that I don't follow. As long as they're being respectful, I don't have a problem with it. So my mods don't, and if you see a name that said you were timed out, I would see it. So my mods aren't timing you out, sweetie. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry, Becky. I just had to respond to that. You still
And I want to just briefly touch on something.
Yes, ma'am.
John has caught a lot of flack. No, he got stuck in a bad spot.
John.
I could have a friend turn around and do something, but that's not my fault.
Okay. Yeah, it's yeah, I'm not gonna bring up John on my channel because
But he's a good guy. But it's no. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just
I know
just giving him props.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. He is caught in the bad spot and he realizes that as well. So, but I don't want to bring up John.
I feel for him.
Yeah, because it's not about John, you know, and I wanted Shelby to come up. I wanted
No, that's fine.
F4 got again. I don't know.
December was the last time. We're only in October.
Okay, so I don't know what's going on, why F4 keeps getting booted, but my own sister gets booted every time she comes in here. So I'm serious. My sister gets booted out.
Heidi, I gotta jump, but there's just one.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to get off too. But I'm going.
Well, I just want to throw this out there for
yes, ma'am.
It looks like there's a lot of victim survivors in the chat.
Yes.
So the Truth About Paschel page on Instagram, it was started by a couple of us months ago with one focus. And now the focus is shifted, it's covering Geoffrey's trial. It will cover up to the sentencing. And then once that happens, the page is changing and the page will become a place, I'm hoping, that victims and survivors can feel safe to come to, feel safe to share their stories, feel safe to message if they need help. I will be starting a Zoom domestic violence support group.
Oh, that's good, Shelby.
So if you can't either, you can follow me on my Instagram or follow that page. Both pages will have that when I have it created. And I will also be the sentencing hearing in December. So
you're going to be there?
Yes. Kristen asked if I could and would come, and absolutely.
Give her my prayers and tell her I think she did an excellent job. She stood her ground. She never wavered. She looked him directly in the eye. She never let that defense
probably could have needed my better
her game. She did an excellent job.
Total rock star. And I'll put this here and they'll see it on the truth page.
That girl did well. She did a great job.
But on the page, I am going to be fundraising for.
Because I know I don't have such an easy time.
Becky, hold on a second, baby. Yes, go ahead on, Shelby.
So I'll be fundraising on the Truth About Paschel page for my travel expenses and my lodging expenses for the trip, because I can't afford to do it on my own. So I'm hoping that everyone can help me get there to support Kristen. And then anything over those expenses will be donated, and I'm going to keep the fundraiser going, donated to the Knoxville Family Justice Center. They are the place that helped Kristen immediately after the assault. They took her forensic photos. They helped her file an order of protection, and they've been wonderful to her. So I'd like to give back to them since they helped so much in this case.
Well, Kristen, this is what I was going to do. And let me tell you, so I brought up something to my subs. What I want to do is to adopt a family. So if you're going to be doing something for the Knoxville Center, I would like to have one woman. I want a name nominated. We're going to put her name on the wheel. We're going to spin the wheel in a couple of weeks. We're going to do a fundraiser. Whoever the wheel picks and they're vetted, that's who's going to get whatever cash we raise. That's what we're doing. And I want to do that. There's a lot of, I'm not buying toys. I want to give them the funds so they can do what they want to do with the funds.
Love that.
So that is what I'm going to be doing once I'm settled in my new home state. I've asked my subs to reach out to a church or to whoever, get a name. I have a wheel. We'll put it on the wheel. We'll spin it, whatever name the wheel picks. And I'm saying go through a church or something because these families are already vetted. So you don't have to do too much vetting. So that's what I want to do as a give back for everything that I have been given and what we all have been given. And so just to do something to help someone else out. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to get that set up within the next couple of weeks so we can start raising this money. So by Christmas, and I say Christmas because that's normally the loneliest part of the year for a lot of people. Money is low, money is tight, and we're coming out of a pandemic. So that's what I want to do. And that's my goal. I know a couple other channels have picked up on it. They're going to do it. But, they can give to whatever family, but we're going to do it. Whatever family we pick, I'm going to set up a separate account. Everybody can track the money. Once we close it, wherever that money goes to, that's where that money is going to be sent to. So,
love it. Awesome.
But thank you. Keep me posted. I'm going to promote whatever you're doing. I appreciate you hopping on. And I want to say thank you. And girl, you are truly blessed. I'll see you later, Kristen. I mean, not Kristen, Shelby. Thank you so much for coming.
Bye.
On. Bye. So Becky, here's what I'm going to do. When I get settled and I said that I was going to do a panel. I'm still going to do it. There's a lot of women that have reached out to me, especially since this trial. I like what Shelby is doing. I really do. And yes, Kristen is a superstar. She is. And Shelby, I'm just, Mommy Says Bad Words. I was very impressed with her as well. But as far as DV is concerned, I do know a couple of good therapists. They're willing to come on. They're gonna one said that she would offer free therapy virtually for an extended period of time. So I'm gonna get everything set up and we're gonna do this panel. But in the meantime, if you guys, need to reach, and you said you're in therapy. I know a lot of women that have reached out to me said that they're in therapy. Um, I myself have never been through anything like that, but I've had family members to have gone through that. Um, uh, you have a son that's there that won't leave you. He loves you. You need to keep yourself protected, stay safe. And if, I don't know the laws in Ontario, but if you start getting any kind of weird calls, whatever, I know here you document everything. You put it in. You feel that you're being stalked or followed or whatever. You need to be careful. Take everything.
Oh, I keep track of everything.
Okay.
I get hang up calls like
I'm sorry. I mean, you threw me, even when
but it is what it is. For me to have anything done dentally, I have to have surgery, which isn't covered. So,
but I'm just this.
Well, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
But you don't know how much someone can take from someone.
I have had a stalker. I have never been but I have had a stalker before, and I was actually living in Clarksville, Tennessee. Oh my God, I'm getting okay. Kathleen, thank you for the super chat. She says, thank you, Heidi, for taking the time to do this live. Glen Crack Cottage, thank you for the super chat. Heidi, thank you for giving these women a platform and a voice. Thank you. And thank you guys for being so respectful in the chat. Dee Dee Seller, thank you for the super chat. Teresa, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it all. I see a lot of messages, but the super chats are popping up on the screen and I haven't gotten down there to them yet. I want to say thank you guys for being here and being supportive. And this is what it's okay, Dion. I know we've already, and I need to call you too, Dion. I'm calling you. I want to say thank you all for being here and being so supportive. We're going to do this. And I titled it Women Supporting Women, which is what I want. I want us all to be able to support each other. And I really do. And people who know me know
anything you need help with, I'm
so we have been here for almost 2 hours, and I did not think we were going to be on this long. Thank you, Chantilly. And baby, I don't know why you kept getting timed out. I don't know. And I'm so sorry. But guys, I said it at the beginning of the chat. If you get timed out, it's a Google bot. Go out and come back in, and it normally leaves you alone. Yes. I just had therapy. I started going back to counseling again back in September, October, when my dad was going through his cancer treatments and my mom was going through all of her stuff. Thank you very much, Yahoo. I appreciate that. And like I said, there are so many people in here I don't follow, haven't heard of a lot of you. I want to say thank you. I just, oh my God, you guys have been great. And thank you for being, and I'm going to say it again, for being so respectful to the people on the panel. I know people have, we have Geoffrey supporters, we have Christian supporters, but everybody has been in here and being supportive to everybody that's been here. And I really, really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Thank you guys. And I did not mean for us to go this long. Becky, we'll be talking in DMs. Once I get settled in, I am moving next week. Okay. I will be gone. I'm thinking maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll be settled in. We can go. That'll be one of the first lives I want to do in my new place. It's going to be the DV panel. I'm going to make sure that the time works out for my friend who's a therapist, and she'll come on and we can just have Oh, Amanda, thank you. I enjoyed your live today, Amanda. But I just want to say we're going to do this and we're going to get better at supporting each other instead of all this fighting and all this other stuff, because this stuff is crazy. So, Becky, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to hit you in the DM probably tomorrow, because right now I am going to go take a nice hot bath. I was packing all day.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you for sharing your story. And I'm going to have, I think that night we're going to do it so far is 6 women that want to come up and discuss their story. So again, thank you for my guests. Mommy Says Bad Words, Shelby, Bart, Becky. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, woman. Could you pronounce that last name?
Thursday.
Thank you so much for coming up. So Tina, Heidi, you helped on a heart level tonight. Oh my God, thank you. I appreciate that. Chronic Desserts, thank you guys. I'm gonna see all of you guys later. Have a good evening. Bye guys. Bye Becky. Good night. Bye guys.